Hey, it's Tori, and welcome back to my channel. Today we welcome back the lovely Lena Scissorhands to the channel. How are you doing today, Lena?
Doing good, thank you so much. Busy.
Yeah, I bet. This is your sixth studio album that's just released. It is called Time. Could you talk more about the concept of the album? Because it does feel very much like it is a concept album compared to what you have released previously.
Yes, it is. I would call it our first conceptual album. To be honest, I think for the first time we had such a big theme throughout the entire record. And we didn't really plan that specifically in advance. It just happened that way. And it was already pretty clear when we were composing, even in the early stages, like first 3 to 4 songs, it was pretty obvious where we are going with this. So then, you know, slowly we started thinking about a name for an album, and Vidic had a couple of ideas, and one of them being Time. I really liked the simplicity of the word and the how complex the meaning of the word is, though. And I remember that Vidic told us that he did a little bit of research out of curiosity. And there's a very fun fact about time. We don't even realize that we use this word so much. Is one of the most used words in English vocabulary. And it's for a reason, I think. We can all understand and relate to time so much, but at the same time, it is one of the few things that we can't really explain fully, and we can't really understand fully, isn't it? So I
Mhm.
love the concept, and it was very easy choice. And then, with every song, even though I was sometimes talking about a different theme in the lyrics, somehow I tied it up with the time atmosphere of the entire album. So even if the song is not specifically right in your face about time, like Dying Light is, or Never to Return is, still there is this invisible thread that you know ties everything together, every single song. In the end of the day, even if you talk about love, is how we choose to spend our time, right? If you
Mhm.
talk about a more global theme, like The Answer Is You, it's also about how you use your time and what you do with your own time, because in the end of the day, the answer is you. And I'm mentioning right now some titles of songs from this album. Um, but yeah, every single song has it somehow. I don't know if you had the chance to listen to the entire album yet.
I have, yeah, and I feel like the way you've laid it out is perfect because everything still flows and it still connects like time does, and it's just really clever. So, I think it's a brilliant album and I absolutely love it. I know you guys just recently played 70,000 Tons of Metal, and you also got to do your album listening party on board. Like, what a unique experience that was, and how was that for you guys?
That was probably my highlight of the entire festival, to be honest, because unfortunately there was a lot of ups and downs throughout the days we were on the cruise and the day before the cruise. Um, Somehow it was quite hectic, and I had motion sickness way more than I even expected it. I even took precautions, and like, just in case, because you never know, if it's an
Hmm.
experience that you never had before, you try to take precautions. But it wasn't helping, and especially on stage, I didn't realize how much it could impact the whole vocal machine, because it's not just our vocal cords, it's everything, that the breathing and everything. And it actually was making me more and more nauseous while singing. So that was pretty challenging, and I don't want to really go into any negatives or anything or point fingers. There were, you know, certain things that I don't know, we were quite I don't know, desperate in certain moments. So having this early listen to the album party was also another thing that we were quite stressed about, because
Yeah.
no one really gave us details about how this is going to be. Are we in charge of planning the evening, or are they in charge of planning the evening? Am I going to have a microphone where I'm going to say something, or is it going to be just small, big? How many people can be inside? We had no idea. We literally, they said, show up 10 minutes before, that's it. And it was in a bar, basically,
Uh-huh.
on the cruise. So we were like, okay, go with the float, just keep swimming, you know, swimming, swimming. It was funny, but it turned out to be really cool. There was a microphone. I was able to share a couple of words after every single song. Our producer was there, so he helped, you know, adjusting the sound for people. We had a good crowd. Some of the people that were trying to get in, we were still trying to make space. We didn't know if there's a limitation or anything.
Right.
If it was fun. It was fun because it was also, in a way, although it was like around 10 days prior to the premiere of the album, in a way it felt almost like we were so nervous, so much more nervous that we could be for the release day, because when it's release day, you're like, here we go, you know. And when
Yeah.
it's early, it's like showing, almost it felt like showing your music videos or your songs during a family reunion type of thing. It felt
Yeah.
like a family reunion, even though you know, we probably knew only a couple of people in there, from other shows, but it felt like a family reunion because of how much love and support they were giving between every single song. They were all very respectful, because obviously we couldn't have filming with the audio out there, you know, and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, when your like family is watching what you do, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm so sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I hope this didn't
It's okay.
turn off camera. I declared it. So sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that because with the album release day, you have that set day and you're prepared for that day and you're ready for that day.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's early and you're putting your baby out into the world early, and it's like, oh my goodness, what are they gonna say? What are they gonna think? And not only that is they're literally in front of you, and you can see their faces, you can see
Oh
that
yeah. Oh yeah.
emotion, and
You
it's
can't
gotta
you can't fake that, you know, reaction.
right.
And we didn't know what to do with our hands, what to do with our where to look, you know. 'Cause we were having fun listening to our own songs. We were remembering certain fun moments from that time, and it was just very pleasant. We felt exposed, but
Mm-hmm.
it turned out to be such a good hangout, and we dedicated some time and took pictures with everybody who wanted a picture after, signed a few things, even though it wasn't announced that we are going to do any kind of meet and greet or answering questions or anything like that. So it was fun. It was not planned, but it went really well.
Good. I'm glad. And talking of album release day, like how do you specifically celebrate that yourself? Like obviously there's everything that goes into it with social media, getting it posted, getting it out there. But do you like take a breather and you're like, this baby that we've been working on for the past year, 2 years is finally out there, and now I can celebrate. I can, I can just like go a little bit. Like how do you celebrate that?
um I don't know. I mean, to be fully honest with you, I was thinking about that when the album was releasing this time, and I realized that I haven't really been celebrating much. Like, and I'm not really talking necessarily about a party or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but even with myself, like even I never really did much. So I even spoke with my boyfriend that day, and I was like, I would like to celebrate, and it was just us and
Mhm.
home, nothing special, but we celebrated a little bit. And then he has a Twitch channel where
Mhm.
he often goes live, and he did in the end of the night, and some of the fans popped in, and they know that I'm often there, at least audio wise, if I'm not on tour. So it was cool because like we got them involved a little bit as well. So I don't know, I should, because I know that it's a big deal, it's a bigger deal that we think, all this,
Yeah.
so much goes into composing, recording, producing an album, and then so many people get involved, and I always feel like I want to say so many thank yous, and I have to remember who was involved, and I don't know, it's a big deal, and I don't know about other musicians, but I definitely should celebrate it a little more. I definitely should give it more importance, I think.
Yeah. Well, I still think even being with, like you said, you were with your boyfriend, and even
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, but
time to
even that
i-
was
is super
exactly. I'm so glad.
special.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely, it was. But I'm glad I thought of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
didn't before for some
Yeah.
reason, and that day I felt like it. And he was at work actually all day, and yeah, when he called me on the way back, I said I would actually like to celebrate tonight because of that, and it
Yeah.
wasn't planned as well. It was just last minute.
I think some of these things that just aren't planned and that just sort of happen tend to be the best things for us, you know? It's like the world just saying, you deserve this little bit of happiness and this little bit of celebration, and here you go, and so do whatever
It
you want
is
to
really
do with
hard.
that.
It's really hard for me. I'm working on that, but I'm gonna be honest here with you. It's quite hard for me to tell myself you deserve it. It
Yeah.
really is, and I'm probably not the only one like that, but
Nope.
often I do understand later that I should, like especially in certain cases more than others, but it's quite hard. It's a lesson that I have to still learn, and but thank you for saying that.
No, I understand because I am that way myself. Like whenever I hit a milestone with the channel or with, I have a Twitch as well. Whenever we hit a milestone with that, I'm like, I kind of go into myself because I don't know how to celebrate it. I don't know how to, I feel like thank you's not enough in a way, So I totally understand. I wanted to ask you how you found the reactions from your fan base so far to the new album and the music videos and everything that you've done with the album so far.
It was amazing. It still is. We're still receiving a lot of messages, emails about it, really pleasant comments on Napalm Records YouTube channel that has all the music videos.
Hmm.
We knew that you know the reaction will be emotional because
Hmm.
of how emotional this album came out. I feel like way more than all the others, even though we've been always using emotion as one of our most important like key ingredient even in the music. So we've always had it in every single album, but with this album I feel we knew that it's going to be very emotional, the reaction, and the amount of people that could relate to certain songs more than others, and it was beautiful. It still is. As I said, I read these messages every day, and it really makes me happy that we could touch people's hearts, and maybe make people think about certain things or inspire people, hopefully, to think a certain way or to do certain things, just inspire, maybe even guide, but not more, because this, in the end of the day, all of that is our own decision.
Hmm. That leads me perfectly on to, of course, um, you were just saying you've got some insanely like personal songs throughout your discography that cover a wide range of emotions, and specifically on this one, the one that touched me the most was Because I Let You. And firstly, I want to just like personally thank you from the bottom of my heart for being just so raw and so vulnerable and brave, for not only, you know, writing that, but then also the music video, and leaving that ending in. That was, you know, it was heart wrenching to witness. But, you know, because a lot of people wouldn't lay themselves out like that, and they probably would have cut that ending out. Um, but you didn't, and you left it in, and it showed everybody watching that it's okay to let these emotions completely take over us at times, because it does help with the healing process. And my question in that is, you know, now that you've released this single, not only will the fans want to hear it live, but then you also have to sing it, and then that brings those emotions to the forefront, and it brings that pain back up. Do you find that somewhat cathartic and also healing, and how do you deal with the aftermath of that, like with your mental health and things like that?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you because I've watched your reaction to it, and I felt so guilty for making you cry.
No, don't,
Um,
don't ever feel guilty.
I am so sorry that you could relate to that. And I say it with putting the hands on my heart. I am so sorry that anybody can relate to that, and people are so familiar with this pain. But at the same time, I know that there's way too many people out there that can relate to this pain, and not not all of us talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, through my music, I find that I can heal the majority of the scars and wounds that I have, some from the past, some from the present. And I actually look forward to that fire to get rid of my
Mm-hmm.
fire. So, fire with fire in this situation works, no matter how painful it is, but it works. Now, despite the fact that it was quite difficult to compose this lyrics, it was even more difficult to compose melody for these words, because with melody, I needed to make sure that it goes where it needs to go. And with the tone of my voice and the key in the vocal melody or whatever, I made sure that it spoke even to a person that doesn't understand the words.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this song will become a music video when I was composing for it. We never know that in advance. It all depends on how the song comes out later, when you already recorded for the album, and when you have the other songs to compare, and you choose which one speaks to you and you think it's going to be the right single to present to people, let's say that. So we had no idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it was quite hard to also hear Vidic, my guitar player, when he was the first one to receive my raw ideas vocally for this song. And when he receives that, I know him for a very, very long time, and I trust him musically a lot. And when he gives me an input about where I'm going vocally when it's still in the raw stage, it helps me a lot to at least see if I still need to work on this, or if I have to change certain things. And with this song, we barely changed anything. I believe he changed the placement of certain lyrics
Mm-hmm.
in a different part of the song somehow. And that melody sounded better. The vocal melody sounded better for a specific other part of the song. So he often can do that, and just to ask my opinion, what do I think here if we do this way. But almost nothing else was changed with this one, and he left me a vocal message saying, "How did you do that? How did you? I have no idea how you came up with this, but I could barely listen to the song. It's so
Mm-hmm.
emotional."
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard to go through that. Then it was very hard to actually record the song in the recording stage later on, when I flew to Moldova before a tour, and we decided to record there with the producer together. It was very hard. And then when we decided to do a music video for this song, um, I knew that I will get emotional. And even Vidik, being the director and editor of our music videos as of lately, he has been telling me, hey, if you get emotional, that's okay, you know, whatever. Feel the song, you know, remember to go there, whatever made you write this. So basically, he encouraged me to let that door open and not close it,
Mhm.
you know. Now, on top of how insanely emotional this song is and how hard it is for me to face it, the location we chose for this music video was quite interesting, and that I believe added to my mental state for sure. We filmed it in a real mortuary,
Mhm.
and I was laying on a real cold marble mortuary table from the 1980s or whatever, very old. And the makeup artist was working on the special effects for like 5 hours or more. So I was in that position on a hard surface, half naked. I mean, I believe they covered my feet only because I was getting so cold.
Mhm.
But she needed the entire torso to be open. So finally, when my time came to film it, I believe they filmed one take of a small portion of the song, and then they're like, okay, now the entire song from the above. That's it. That's when it happened. It was a major panic attack that came over me. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't control it, and I didn't even know they are still filming. Um, I even thought I ruined the entire filming day, to be honest, because it was technically my first and a half take. And
Mhm.
after all these hours of special effect makeup and everything, there was so much more that needed to be filmed. And I did this. It was very brutal for me mentally, and going there and feeling that way, half dead. And even now, it's quite hard for me to even talk about it.
Mhm.
But I know it's going to be harder to deal with this on stage. And we had our first attempt to play the song live on 70,000 tons of metal. But to be honest, we had so many technical difficulties on the stage before the show and during this show that I was just going like a robot through this song a little bit, even though
Yeah.
during the first show, I did cry in the end of the song, and I started shaking, and um, it was not easy. And also, we decided to put that song last because we didn't know how I'm gonna feel about it. And then I couldn't say a word in the end of the show towards the people, say thank you. So now we are gonna try and play it a song before the last one.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can, you know, put my emotions together and go through another like you know, faster and heavier song in the end. I don't know, we'll see. We will have to work around my emotions here a little bit, like the placement, but we do want to play the song live. Everybody loves this song. Everybody is very emotional about it in the band as well. I want to play the song no matter how difficult it is for me. And I hope that it will teach me how to live with my pain eventually.
Yeah. It's one of those things that nobody can tell you how to deal and how to get through it. It's just it's a personal journey, and it's so different from one person to the next. But within these songs and the lyrics, you find a way to connect a little bit. And I just, yeah, I still want to give you a huge hug. So I
Mm.
owe you one next time I see you. I don't know if you're a
Okay, deal.
hugger or not, but uh, but yeah, it still makes it still, even when I watch it still to this day, it still makes me tear up because unfortunately have been in that situation where I have felt pain that like that, and but it's also not nice, but it's good to know that there's other people in the world that experience these things that we do, and we're not alone in what we're feeling. And I feel like it's so important for bands like yourself, for people like yourself, to talk on these subjects and bring them to the surface so that fans and whoever, even new people listening to the band, can relate. And and we're not alone, you know. It's just it's a good feeling, and I want to say I'm so thankful for you, and for you being able to put that emotion into your songs. And it's, you know, your voice is incredible, and the way you um portray it in these songs is just mind blowing. So just, yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Some bands do this for me personally, and
Mhm.
they've been in very dark moments in my life, helping even before I became a musician, while I was on this path as well. So I do understand how important that is to talk about certain things, especially if they are familiar to you, and especially if you went through that or are going through that, because you know, we are all human beings, and we are more similar than we think we are, you know. And
Mhm.
the situation that I have might be so similar to situation that someone else have, or it could be the situation that someone else is going through could be even worse than the situation I was going through, that made me go through panic attacks and deal with so much, actually. Because I'm still healing from that physically, mentally. I had to have therapy. I was suffering from insomnia for so long that it was really, really bad for me. And I was prohibited to drive even because of how bad I was. And we are doing that to ourselves because we do allow people we love to hurt us that way, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And even though I've been through that, this specific situation that made me write this, like, quite years ago now, I am seeing patterns of repeating my mistake and repeating it in um you know other kinds of relationships after, like, even with
Mhm.
friends that you think you love a lot, and they love you, and you have a specific bond, and your friends really, because I don't call friends every single person I know. I know
Right.
it's part of a, I don't know. I find it more and more common as of lately for people to call each other friends, even though they never even saw each other. They have spoken online or
Mhm.
something. But so what I'm trying to say is that I am not just throwing these words in the air if I don't really believe it. And it happened just recent that I was hurt really badly by a friend, and I understand that it's quite my fault, you know,
Mhm.
quite my fault for letting people in, for giving them so much power over me. And yeah,
Yeah.
but hey, let's move on to our next.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna ask you about, like, how do you guys come up with the concepts for your music videos, because they are so different from one another, yet they still feel like they all fit together.
um we often consult with these ideas. The main idea bringer is Vedic, especially him being the producer and the editor of the music video. It's easier for him because he has visions when it
Mhm.
comes to the visuals. And he often is like, hey, I always wanted to make a music video with this, or over here, or about this, right? So when he often gives these ideas out loud, even before we often know what song it will go for, we all come up with other ideas, and there's here you go, we have details and plot, maybe even, you know. It's a work of a team, but mainly the main ideas come from Vidic.
Mhm. That's cool.
You should have
So
him
I should
here sometimes.
I
Absolutely, he is
should,
a
yeah.
very interesting person to talk to.
Yeah, I like, he's always very supportive as well whenever I post anything, you know, he
Yeah.
sends me messages and stuff, so I'd love to talk to him as well.
Yeah,
You guys have
you can even directly DM him and ask him about that. Because it just so happens that him doing so much for the band, I am the one taking interviews all the time,
Yeah.
because how time consuming certain things can be. But that doesn't mean that he wouldn't take a few interviews here and there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will keep that in mind and I will send him a message.
Of
Uh,
course.
you guys, you guys have the upcoming EU tour with Dragon Force and Amaranth. Are you guys excited about that? Are you preparing
Yeah.
for it?
Yes, and matter of fact, I am rehearsing every day, packing soon, making a list of things that I need, trying to coordinate with the band because I have certain things in Europe, and we have a band van, so they
Mm-hmm.
take everything we need to the first location where the nightliner takes us. So I often have, if I don't go directly to Moldova, I have to ask them some stuff to take, and it's I because I keep forgetting what I have there and what I don't, what I need to buy, like even for makeup, or for
Yeah,
makeup
yeah.
remover. There's so many little things that you need on tour, and then you're like, oh my god, do I have it? I'm not gonna have time to go to stores, because
Right,
we don't often have time to even explore the cities around us. So all that is in motion, and we are excited because it's our first tour playing in front of audience of such different type of metal, and
right.
it's quite challenging. Of course, we understand it's going to be challenging, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun because we only heard good things about both bands. So far I've only met the vocalist for Amaranth,
Mm-hmm.
and Elise, she only popped in to the backstage once where when we like shared a backstage area at the festival, but we needed to run, so it was so
Yeah.
fast. I didn't really got to talk much or to hang out. So I'm looking forward for it. Yes, and yeah, finally we're gonna include the UK again after 5 years almost. Yeah, so quite excited.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be such a fun tour, and as you say, like each band has like such a different sound from one another. So it's I wish I could come and see that.
Yeah,
Do you have any last words for people watching this that you want to say, like just like thank you or just anything like that? Well, just
absolutely, of course.
while we wrap up because I've kept you like 5 minutes more than I should
Yeah,
have.
it's okay. It's okay. My fault. I often give long answers. Um, Thank you to everybody that is supporting your channel and is commenting and sharing. I know how much it means for every channel, for every blog, and every person. Really, we live in this era where everything is online, so we have to support people that put all this information online. So I thank you as well, Tori, for always being so kind towards what I do as an artist and so kind towards Infected Rain in general. Thank you for your reactions and for your interesting questions here. And thank you all for giving this album a chance and your time.
Thank you so much, Lena, for taking the time. Of course, the album Time is out right now. I will leave the link where you can order it down in the description, along with all of Infected Rain's social medias, along with Lena's social medias as well, so you can follow and subscribe them there. But thank you so much, Lena. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, you
Bye,
too. Talk
guys.
later. Thank you. Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to become a Taurian. Speaking of becoming a Taurian, all of my social media links and my Discord link are down in the description. We'd absolutely love to have you come hang out in the Discord community, and I will see you guys in the next video. Rock on.